The lives of young children move quickly as they develop and grow. But have you ever stopped and really looked at how they are thinking? How they make meaning of the world around them? If you look closely, young children engage in STEM every day when they explore and create. However, they are not doing this alone. Children need engaged adults to provide an environment that includes loose parts, access to tools, and time to explore and make things that are meaningful to them. This is STEM, and early childhood educators can support children's engagement in science, technology, engineering, and math by establishing a maker mindset. Maker mindset is simply the learning through hands. So the whole concept of maker mindset is tinkering, making, breaking. So when babies come and they are using their five senses to engage with these loose parts, then they get to discover in a way that possibly wouldn't be available to them without the space.
So when we think about a maker mindset and incorporating that with young children and infants, what does that look like? And why would we do that? We know that since babies are hardwired with these precursor math skills, setting up space that allows them to explore objects with different textures, different smells, different sensory properties really does help them with their mathematical thinking. And infants do this all the time. And you can set it up in a way that they're exposed to different materials and familiar materials so they can make comparisons. You can set up items for babies where they can notice patterns. You can play music for them, which is about patterning, and creating these spaces that have these sensory components to them is really nurturing their mathematical thinking for the future.
Loose parts refers to the idea of a collection of items, be it pine cones or acorns or even hair curlers. Really, what we have to focus on is that, first of all, that it's safe. So for babies, you have to make sure that it's not a choking hazard and that it's developmentally appropriate.
In this project, we've talked a lot about building community. And what's so nice about having a maker mindset within every single classroom is that this is a wonderful way to involve parents. So parents often will bring in recyclables. They'll often bring in materials that they no longer use at home that they might think that the children would create in, or the children themselves say, oh, I want to bring this from home and put it in our space. So it's a nice way to extend that community, not just from the classroom, but also to the children's home.
So in one field trip, I noticed that they were very into the light table in the art museum. So I said, well, in one morning meeting, I noticed that you guys are really interested in the light table. How do you think that we can build one in the classroom? So they came up with ideas and what materials do we need and what steps are going to be through the process. So everything started in that moment. So they start with the process of designing the process of the light table, improving when something don't work really well. So what can we do to improve? So they start to touch the sandpaper and I asked them, what do you think this is for? And they said, well, this can make the wood soft, more smooth. So I let them figure out what is that sandpaper for. The next process was, okay, how we are going to assemble it. So we start to do the hammer and the nails, and they say, oh, it worked. So they came up with the idea to put some support inside the light table. So that's why it has some support in the middle and in the border also. So they start to use the magnet tiles to build. They normally do it in the block area in the carpet, but now it was a really different perspective with the lights. So how the lights come through it. Was really bright in the bottom, but not in the top. Why is that happening? And they start to use this term, so they start to integrate all this STEM concept in the project that they were involved in. They have this sense that they build it. The families are bringing this comment, oh, the children are talking about that you guys are building a light table? Is that true? At the beginning, I say, yes, we're going to build a light table. Let's see how that turned out. So they were really excited every single week. How, oh, the child said that they were using hammers and nails to do the light table. And they saw the picture and they go, wow, they are building a real light table. And I said, yes, they are building the light table by themselves. So the family also get involved in the process of commenting and have this conversation with them, how the process go. So it was really interesting for them and meaningful for the children. Like, okay, I am building this and my family also validates what I am doing also at home.
To establish a maker mindset, allow children time to explore and create. Provide real-world tools in a safe way. Ask parents to bring in recyclable materials from home. Encourage children to find loose parts in nature. For infants, introduce materials that incorporate patterns, different sensory properties, and high contrast.